can even see the castle from the mist down there. It probably looks so crazy.
Pretty jet lag, we just flew a lot. So, it's gonna get the body warmed up. Get the blood pumping. Back. That day, fortunately, happened to just feel like a warm-up day. Like, it wasn't playful, but it was enjoyable. You know, like there was a fun crew on the water, just great friends. It felt like one of those sessions where you have 10, 12 friends sharing waves. The local grounds were charging, the local bodyboarders were charging. It felt really good. All my gear felt really good. I was in a 5 mil, 3 mil booties with gloves and a hood, but it was freezing. Like that day got super cold. I did not expect to be that cold. Time to go warm up. By the end of that session, which was like 3 or 4 hours long, pretty much everyone in the water was shivering. The hands, the feet were gone. Some of the locals had no gloves on, which I could not believe. Like, we were like 3 or 4 hours into the session and they don't have any gloves on. Like, they've evolved to handle a lot more cold than normal people, I think. But yeah, that first day was, it just kind of felt like a really good warm-up and really good times with the local crew. And there's like levels to the days, but day 2 was a slight step up from that. There was a little bit more swell. The conditions were slightly heavier. The wind was super strong again. But it was just slightly bigger. So we were all pretty excited about that because everyone felt like they got a great warm up that first day. And so day 2 was like, okay, we got some bigger sets, like the swell should be rising through the session, like let's see what it brings. The first day I had just used my 5 mil suit with gloves and booties, no flotation. I had flotation on me, but when you put all that gear on with the flotation, like the stiffness it adds to your body is like so much that first day it was small enough, I felt that I would be okay in the 5 mil. I didn't end up day 2 wearing flotation again. I went out with on my 7.0, just with the 5 mil. That feeling of like mobility and looseness and quickness is just awesome. But on the flip side of that, like the swell was getting bigger. Chose not to wear flotation, and I definitely like paid for it at the end of the session.
Lower than you.
Do you copy over? Running time jump program. Opening the 4 vortex. Start the countdown.
Crazy wind. Big wind and a steep cliff.
Five, four, three, two, one.
This session I hadn't had any wipeouts yet. And it kind of all coalesced. I'm just in my 5 mil. This bomb comes and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing looks so crazy. Like maybe it's gonna hold. And I turn just to like give it a look and start paddling. And one of like the legend local bodyboarders, Tom Gillespie, is like, go mad lad. I'm like, okay, if Tom thinks it's a good one, then like he's backing me up, like the call is good. And I just totally committed to the wave. And as I got down it, like paddled as hard as I could, thinking, oh, I'm on a small board for a wave this big, a 7-0. But I just got in really well. But as I stood up, I like almost overcommitted and I stepped to the side of my stringer on the board. And that felt okay, and I'm taking this drop and it does the secondary scoop. As I'm getting to the bottom, like, oh my God, sick, I made the drop. And then my whole rail started to drag and I realized like, oh no, like all of my weight is way too far forward. And I take the fall, immediately pulled up. I barely got like 6 inches under the water. And I just am in the lip going over. And as I'm going over, I realize like, oh my gosh, I'm in just my 5 mil. Like I didn't even wear the flotation. Like why did I decide to go on this huge one without all the gear that I had, like on the hill? And I went over and just went straight. As I went down, I felt my leash jerk as my board went back up, and then I just felt total slackness on my leg, and so I realized like, oh, my leash just snapped immediately. I felt foam on my face, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm like a foot away from the surface, but I was worried about what was behind it. Finally broke the surface just in time. There was a huge one behind it. I took that on the head. Ended up doing like this big swim in. I was like, no, my Magic 7.0, like, what happened to it? Where is it? And the GoPro was on the board. I'm like, all the GoPro clips are gone. No way the GoPro survived it. I swim into these rocks, which is like the Jaws shore break type of situation, like 6-8 foot white waters hitting these rocks. Get in there, do the scramble, looking around for like 5 minutes, find the board, flip it over, the GoPro's still going, everything is scratched up, both leash plugs, the leash hadn't snapped, but both leash plugs, basically the whole tail had been ripped off the board.
He put on the biggest fish. Couldn't make the drop. Couldn't make the bottom turn, fell. Would have been the one, I can't believe it. Oh, damn it. Think he survived. We're gonna make a long paddle back out around now. Oh, it's so crazy out there.
And then recovering the board and doing this huge long paddle around. I think I looked at like the stats on my little tracker after, and the session in total had been like 7.5 miles of like surfing, paddling, swimming, and the whole ordeal. And got back out around, and your face is hot and flushed, and you're just, everything's got waterlogged, and you're just like, okay, I'm done. Like, that's the end of the session. And everyone's like looking over like, oh, you had one of those on? You're like, yeah, I had one of those. And like, oh, it's a good attempt. The wave ended up clamping on the end, so it made me feel a little bit better about like blowing the drop. Backside drops.
Are you filming this? This is Nate Florence telling Tom Robert Lowe that I backdoor crazy ones.
Backside Tom. Backdoor
Florence
none.
and the machine.
You had your propper on the left, grabbed your rail, and it looked like a huge pipe drop, like a regular would at pipe, but you just scooped it super late. Like,
I'm happy just because I'm in one piece.
and I did about 10 of these, and I was like, wait, am I going the right direction? Like, because the leash wasn't pulling
The best
upward.
ones.
And I was like, I don't think I'm going the right direction, fuck! Because the slam was so violent, I kind of got the stunner.
I can't wait to see your
I
eyes.
was down there like, oh, I'm stunned at it. Okay, start swimming. And then I was like, my board's gone, my leash is loose. It's below me, it's gonna spear me. And then I just did 10. 10? Literally, I wasn't moving, I was going like this.
2 wave hold downs. No.
Well, we're in one piece. The team survives day 2, so. For the final farewell. The carnage from the mega bomb. That was supposed to not close out, but it did. This board has been here for 4 years. One of the waves of my life on it. 7.0. And had a killer session. And then today, leash broke, both plugs ripped out. Had the dual plug, which was really strong, but dual plugger done, crazy hold down. Sent into the rocks, but kind of super repairable. So it'll be back online. And the GoPro survived. But you can see it definitely went through a little bit of action, but she'll be back. All in all, good day. We're on one piece. And thanks, Kalani, for sitting on the rocks for 5 hours of freezing. Having like just relatively recently discovered like going to the cold and experiencing what that's all about, Tom was like born in that. He was raised in that, and so being there with him is like seeing him in his natural element, and his personality is so good, you know, like he's such a good dude. He has the most quirky little ways, and like staying with him is hilarious because he just has his little activities he needs to do, you know, he has to have his little walks and he has to have his little drinks, and we fit well, you know, when you're on these trips you want to have a household, or if you're staying with someone, you want the whole crew to be in sync and fitting well and of the same mindset, especially if you're chasing heavy waves. You know, you want You want everyone to be able to handle the conditions, the cold and the irritating in the early mornings and all that, as well as like when you're in the session, you want to like look over and be like, this guy's got my back and I got his back and we're both going to charge it today. Suit up in the dark. We have a very large swell hitting very early morning window to hit it. And we have a bold, brave crew of adventurers. Myself, Tom Loyo, Russ Spirick, Shane Ackerman, and some of the local boys. Jack and maybe Seamus, and we'll see who else paddled out. Drow will be shooting the water. Maybe, we'll see. So it's still completely dark out, and we suited up at the house. So you know it's pretty serious when the crew is suited up in the kitchen and it's so early that it's still dark out. So we're gonna go see what we find. Hopefully it's something cool. If not, we'll just stay suited up for the rest of the day. So we've had these 2 sessions and the trip is just starting to feel like a big lead up to this like final day. And like we've had days where like you see something coming and you're like, oh, maybe, and you show up and the swell doesn't even show up, like the wave doesn't even break. And so it's that type of place. You don't know what you're going to get on a daily basis. Now we're on the biggest potential day of the swell in the worst conditions, and I'm on a board I've never ridden at this wave, which was the 8.0. It was all I had, and I was fortunate to have a backup board. And so I was like, all right, this is it. We're gonna make it work. We go down, and it's just like, there's just this ominous feeling. Like the wind is so strong, and you can see the energy in the water is so different. Like this is a big incoming swell. Like the double ups and the period was really high, and so like the ocean had this like super spooky surge to it. My first wave of that session, the 8.0, I had taken off and had to like turn and go left because the board, like I was on a ridge and the board just didn't allow me to like make the turn I wanted to make. And then right away, like I was like in my head about the board, like this 8.0, it sucks. Like, the rail's like too thick. Like what happened there? Like, and I had to just be like, no, like just give it more time. turning real late and get this wave and the drop. I like barely made the drop, and the board, I'm just trying to get it, and I see the lip come in. I'm like, oh, please don't lip me in the head. Like, I see the boil and it's like resisting me, causing me to go straight, and just last second the lip passes over my head, and I'm like, thank God I didn't get lipped. And then I'm in the foam ball and I can't see for a second, and then up over the foam ball and almost go over the handlebars again, or like almost like they took my back rail for a second, did a little windmill, and then it cleared, and like the wind was blowing water everywhere, and I ended up making it. And like for me, that was it. I was like, okay, like that's like, maybe it wasn't like super clean, the cleanest of waves, but like for me, like the intensity, the drop, a little bit of foam ball action, like I was very happy with that for that day. And I ended up sharing another back-to-back. Like Tom Lowe went on this bomb and got this super sick one, and I was on the next one, and we kind of did a back-to-back thing, which was like, felt super special to like share a set wave with him. And we're kicking out, everyone's like, yeah, like, woohoo, we're in one piece. The session's going killer, let's go. And then everyone just started to get the beatdowns. Like, it was like, yeah, we're having the best time. And then it just took the turn, and the way it was like, okay, I'm taking my tax from everybody. Like, everybody's gonna pay for being out today. I get this chance to go on this wave and just take the drop. I'm totally blind because of the wind. Get to where I feel is the bottom, and I'm thinking about boundary, and I'm like, I still can't see. I don't know where the lip is. Screw it, I'm gonna abort and try to go straight. And then the thing threw further than I thought, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I did the classic. Like, I should have just pulled in, and I probably would have been better. It's always safer to maybe just be in the barrel. But I tried to straighten out, and the lip just landed straight on my head. And like literally as soon as it landed on my head, straight into the most violent turbulence, I just felt the leash snap again. Of like super deep, like there's like this weird big boil, and right off the edge of that is like very deep water. And I'm going down, 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 like, oh man, like ears starting to ache, head starting to ache, like deep water feeling. Boom, planet on the bottom, and I'm like, not again. Pull the vest. I pull the suit, and because of like at certain depths, sometimes the suit doesn't inflate right away because the pressure of the ocean like resists the inflation of like the CO2 going into the bag. And so I was like, okay, my ears are aching, I'm on the bottom, and like there's resistance to the suit inflating. Like, I am deep right now. But it just takes a second, and the suit really starts to press back against it. Jumped off the bottom and just started my like ascent, and just very slowly was like brought to the surface. I get to the surface and I'm like, yeah, killer, I had the float on this time, like I'm killing it. And these suits we wear, they have a release cord, and so like the next wave, you don't want to be so buoyant that you can't go under, so usually you would release the air. I go to look for it, and because I have my hood and all my gear on, the thing had gotten sucked down into like by my shoulder. It was under 5 mil rubber. Like, I couldn't get to it. And I'm just looking at this next wave like, no, I don't want this. And I'm like, oh yeah, like now I'm going to pay for it. And I just was like only able to put my head down and just like took this huge white water. Get stuck and get super worked. And I'm like, frick, like I gotta deflate. I'm just trying to look for it. And the current's starting to take me like over and to the left, which is like there's another big gnarly wave, and all this current's ripping into it, and I'm like, my hands have gone numb because of the suit and the water and everything, and I can't find the deflate. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to, like, what am I gonna do here? I don't want to like go into these rock areas where I'm too inflated and get bashed into them. Oh, I'll unzip my hood. I unzip the hood, pull it off, deflate, and then as I do that, I realize like, oh shoot, this is gonna, like, with all this gear on, like this is gonna be really hard to re-zip up in gloves. So I pull the hood back over and I'm trying to re-zip it. It's just not going. Like, the fingers are numb, the gloves are too thick. I can't get the little zipper, the little connection part.
And
I'm okay. Like, this isn't like a emergency situation, but like this sucks. Like, I can barely move towards the beach because I'm so full of water, and I'm not with my board. I can't like flush the water out, and I can't get the zipper. So I start just trying to swim, and I'm swimming with like 10-pound arms, and my legs are kicking inside of my suit like this because the suit is full of water. And I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Like, so drain the suit, go looking for the board, find the board. The GoPro's still alive somehow, which just cracks me up. And I took like 15 minutes just like sitting in this rock watching. And during that time, there were just bombs coming, like crazy sets. And apparently, like, Tom had gone on a super heavy one and just gotten like annihilated, like super gnarly beat down. So like he was done, and like he had gotten his good one earlier, and then he had the beat down. I had gotten my good one, then I had my beat down. Russ had gotten some good ones, then he had his. Apparently, while I was in, like, he had a really bad wipeout and got super worked, and he was exhausted. So I make my way finally way back out the back. I get out there, and I was like, guys, what's the vibe? Like, I think I'm pretty much done. Like, I don't even have a leash attached to my board. Like, I'm just going to go in. And they were like, bro, while you were, like, when I paddled up, I expected them to be like, dude, are you good? Like, what happened? But, like, they weren't at all. They were just, like, dealing with their own tragedies that happened. Like, everyone's just, like, shell-shocked. So I was like, I'm going in. They're like, yeah, we're going in. So, like, everyone just, as a little crew, like, paddled in to the shoulder. And we turn around and we just watch this, like, one of the heaviest waves I've ever seen, like, come through, like, totally empty. All this wind and turbulence on it, and it just like didn't cap, and it was so big, and it just blew its guts out in front of us, and we all just watched it, and we were just like, holy shit, what a day. And all made it in, all in one piece. And I think, like, for me, like, trips like that, days like that, my favorite part about those days is like getting in, everyone's good, and having a coffee, and just like probably the last thing you should have, because you're so adrenalined out, your adrenals are totally blown, but like something with just having that coffee and just adding that extra little hit at the end of the day, and like everyone's in one piece, is like the most relaxing thing you can do. And so it was just an epic kind of crazy swell bender with a really cool crew, and shout out to the local boys for like sharing their waters and their waves with us, and allowing us to go out and get some good ones. And yeah, it's an amazing place. And Tom and Russ and Ollie, Tom G, and Odin, Josh, and his dad George, and Callum, and all the boys for charging. And yeah, my favorite part about those days is everyone in one piece, cracking up about the wipeouts at the end. I feel like if you don't get the wipeout, then you don't get the full experience. And that day we definitely got the full experience of like how heavy these big waves can be. And we all rode some great waves, and so it's kind of best case scenario. It was an awesome trip, and shout out to Kalani for filming, and Joao for swimming and shooting in the water, and some of George's epic photography, and Diego for his clips. And so we had a great time and captured it all, and we're all in one piece, ready to do it again. So that's it.